Because college is expensive. Fun fact. So, yeah. Whoa! Philip, thanks for the raid. Appreciate it. You added a command for checking a cat's pulse? What? Okay. Is this going to be a thing now where people are saying cat facts? Okay, great. Thanks, Andreas. My chat right now is just cat facts and dad jokes. I didn't know Nightbot had a preset system that it timed out people for such few emotes. Like, that's tyranny. Like, come on. Tyranny. How do you say that word? Is it tyranny or tyranny? My first pronunciation of tyranny was correct. Tyranny, not... See, okay, this is gonna bug me if I don't look it up right now. Let's see. What does Google say?
Tyranny.
Tyranny. Interesting.
Tyranny.
Okay. Did we just... I accidentally successfully preserved a pair there. That's nice. And then proceeded to double rotate. So I also reset my follow goal because I recently hit 200, which is awesome. Very fortunate for that. I really didn't think I would have so much success on Twitch. I just kind of want to start doing it because it would help me practice, and it has accomplished that so far. I've been surprised. Like, I'm not a person who finds a lot of enjoyment in practice, but just going on stream and being able to solve for entertainment for a bunch of people, like, that has gotten me reignited my passion for speed solving in and of itself, let alone cubing in general. So yeah, not only to see that being successful, but also to see reaching numbers like 200 follows. Like, that's awesome. I'm very, very happy about that. We have a new cousin in the family, so we got to see her for the first time. I think she's a couple weeks old. Very adorable. I mean, small humans, or infants, as normal people would say. Small humans scare me. Straight up. Like, when I was younger and my first younger cousin was born, I got to hold her at the hospital, but only because my aunt was like, "Here, why don't you hold her?" And then, like, gave her to me. I did not want to. I did not want to hold her. They terrify me. Infants terrify me. I'm like, am I gonna hold this infant wrong? Like, that's my number one fear. Like, I'm gonna do something wrong and, like, break her. I'm much like kids when they first start to talk. Then they seem to like me. Infants are terrified of me too. Like, my younger cousin was terrified of me and my dad because, you know, big and scary. I guess, I don't know, from an infant's point of view. But when she started to talk and walk around, now she's, like, attached to me at the hip. And yeah, young kids love me. Oh, whoa. I just accidentally did a pair in a new way. I don't really know what I did there.
8 seconds.
Nice F2L. 13. Excellent. That is a PB average 100. 16-14. That's fantastic. All right, let's see if we can continue to knock that down. The ultimate goal for today is to get that to 15s. Break that 16 barrier. 16-11. Awesome. Okay. Let's keep up the consistency. Yeah, and the current 4x4 PB is definitely not going to stand for a while. I can almost guarantee I'm going to break that on stream. Because I'm just so much better at 4x4 right now, and I've been getting times that are really close to that. So. Oh, no. Okay, there. I was trying to do keyhole there, and I failed to do keyhole. Excellent. Well, that's a waste of a solve. The worst thing about recognizing keyhole is when you can't then find where the appropriate edge is in time. that happens to me sometimes. Like, I'm like, oh, I notice while I'm doing cross that the corner is going to stay in the correct spot. And then I'm like, okay, where's the edge? And half the time I find it in an appropriate amount of time, and it ends up saving me time on the solve overall. And then the other half of the time, I just go blind for a second. I can't find where the edge is, and I get a 20. I should really get better at that. Excellent. Full step G perm 13. We're feeling it now. We're feeling it now, Mr. Krabs. Do I want to learn a Danish word? Sure. Teach me a Danish word. Yeah. Dansk is Danish in Danish. Yeah. I thought so. Like, I recognize Dansk. Yeah. Yeah, it's just... Here, let's listen.
Hi.
Hi. It's H-E-J. That's what Google Translate is saying. What else do I want to learn? Okay, so I know one sentence in Japanese. So watashi wa imo desu, which means I'm a potato. I want to learn how to say I am a potato, because that's sort of my go-to language, or go-to sentence when I learn a new language. How do you say that? Oh, that's tough. Okay.
Jeg en kartoffel.
Kartoffel. Kartoffel.
En kartoffel.
Kartoffel. En kartoffel. Jeg er en kartoffel. How was that? Was that terrible? En kartoffel. It's okay. Oh! Jeg er en I can't do it. Wait, let me try. Jeg er en kartoffel. On the stock market, there are things called commodities, right? You could buy like gold or silver and invest in that. I really want to buy stock in oranges because you could trade oranges as a commodity, and I just think that's hilarious. So I want to say, like, be able to say as a meme that, like, yeah, I'm heavily invested in oranges. Definitely more potential there for a 13 or even a 12 if I had been on my top game, but we're going to take sub 15s. We're going to take them. We'll take that to the bank. We're going to cash it.
8 seconds.
We're going to put it in a savings account to accrue interest.
12 seconds.
We're going to open a Roth IRA. Make sure we got our 401k going. And by this point in time, I've overused that analogy. I can fix that right now. Because if it timed you out for like only 2.5 lines of emotes, like 2.5 lines of emotes is not bad. I'm okay with having that in chat. 13 G perm, back-to-back 13s. That's awesome. Let's go to spam protection. Excess emotes. Options. Okay, you're now allowed to put 65 emotes without getting timed out. So hopefully that's better. This is important. This is important. If a man does not have sauce, then he is lost. But the same man can get lost in the sauce. That's a real Gucci Mane quote. And it's an excellent quote. 1608. Oh, I'm hyped. Get some pogs ready in the chat when we break sub 16 for this average of 100. That's step 1 complete to our goal of sub 15. Alright, let's get it, ladies and gentlemen. Next 2 solves. I'm confident. Let's get it.
8 seconds.
Hey! Can we have some pogs in the chat, please? 1598 PB average of 100. Ladies and gentlemen, we did it. Oh shoot. I don't have it set up for average of 100. I have it set up for 4x4. Here's my average of 100 for you guys. Yeah, sorry. I thought it was appearing on screen already. That sort of ruins the suspense. Alright, let's change this. I'm going to change this to sub 120 because I'd love to get some sub 120s. I feel like there's a lot of PB potential too for PB single. But we'll see. I'm not in a rush right now. I really want to work on 4x4 some more. So
8 seconds.
as long as I want to do that, I'm going to continue to stream. Alright, all out on the 3x3 stage. Let's go. Oh, yeah! Yes, sir! There we go. I predicted. I told you I'm going to try to do it. That's a PB. Somebody clip that for me, please. That's a 4x4 PB. What a successful stream. I'm very happy. We have set PBs all over the board, so that's awesome. This has been a great stream. Record for viewers, PB average of 100 on 3x3, PB single on 4x4. It's been a fantastic stream. Let's end on a high note, shall we? And that's a PB average of 12, sub 120. Excellent. Yes. Okay, so probably should address the elephant in the room. 2 days ago, when I rated DG, if anybody was there for that, I rated DG, and then I forgot to hit end stream. I then turned off my computer, went and played tennis with a friend, and then came back home. And then when I turned on my computer again, it went live again for 20 minutes, and it took me 20 minutes to realize that I was like live. But luckily my cameras were frozen, so that was good. I didn't want to be broadcasting without like my knowledge that I was being broadcasted, especially because yeah, I'd come back from playing tennis. It was a hot day, and I went and I took a shower, and I didn't know I was live, and I was changing. So that could have been really, really bad. So low-key, I'm really, really lucky. And I learned the hard way to never forget to hit end stream after a raid. So I don't think it's ever gonna happen again. So that's good. But luckily it was just for 20 minutes, and I deleted the VOD like as quickly as possible, and I confirmed with several people that the cameras were in fact frozen, so it was no problem. So yeah. Whatever floats your boat.
8 seconds.
Whatever mows your lawn, you know? Whatever magnetizes your clock. I'm keeping that one. That was good. Yo. I'm about to get frustrated all over again. This is terrible. I am disgusted at myself. This is like, what a horrible performance today. Okay, I will remain zen. Thank you for the sauce. Can we have some motivation in the chat, please? Somebody set the motivation command, please. For when you feel down.
Hey there, friend. I know, you've been having some troubles lately.
Yeah, suck a 3x3.
But I need you to be the person I know you can be.
I can be sub 15. Sub 15, post-motivational lizard. I just want to point out that I've had 3 good solves after motivational lizard. And it probably definitely, for sure, has everything to do with motivational lizard. We love it. Yo. It's all a mental thing. You see this? It's all a mental thing. You know, when you see yourself going down a bad path in cubing, just like, give yourself a break, you know? Restore your faith in yourself. Get some motivation going. Great things can happen. Stop taking it so seriously. You know? It's not a serious thing. Have some fun. Can we just take a look for a second pre and post Motivational Lizard? Because I wanted to point this out. We had 2 19s, and I got super frustrated and watched Motivational Lizard. And then we got 14, 15, 15, 14, 14, 14. Are you kidding me? That is so hype. That's sauce right there. That's some sauce. Like, come on. Yeah, I mean, the reason why those things work is because, in general, you know the saying, like, I'm not a world-class cuber, so, but I'm just going based off what my friends who are world-class cubers have told me. But a question they receive a lot is, are you trying to get world record?
8 seconds.
Which is never the case. Nobody's, like, setting out there and saying, like, I am going to get world record today, you know? But if you do ask anybody who gets a world record if they were trying to do it, they're like, no. Because the moment you start trying, you get in your own head, you know? And then it's hard to compete because it's like this is a mental sport more than anything. So it's about having a good mindset, not taking ourselves too seriously. And we got a PB average of 12, 15.09. That's great. We might be able to sub 15 our average of 12, which would be great. That would mean I'm more consistently getting sub 15s. Okay, 15. Work on that momentum. Work on that momentum. Ease into it. Glide with it. Firmly grasp it. Feel the look ahead flow. Nice. Be one with the cube. Get a 13. And I just realized I say a bunch of dumb stuff, just like all the time. Let's see if I can preserve some
8
pairs
seconds.
here. There are a couple of pairs I could preserve. Nice. Nice. Yo, that was really nice solution. 13. That is an excellent solve. Yeah, I don't know about that, though. People thinking that they have to buy a $60 cube to get faster. Like, I don't doubt that there are people like that out there, but I really think that that gets overestimated in the cubing community. Like, a lot of people say that, and that's not really happening. I mean, have you ever spoken to somebody and they were like, oh yeah, I bought a GAN so that I could drop 10 or 20 seconds on my, +2 by the way, on my average? Like, I don't really think people think that. I think people know that. I think people buy GAN puzzles because they want a GAN puzzle, you know? The same reason why people who aren't professionally playing video games still buy professional setups. It's like they want them. And I think there's nothing wrong with that, as long as you know that it's not going to... You don't have the expectation that it's going to drop your times like that, because that's not how that works. But, yeah, I saw somebody made an argument about this a while ago. I forget who it was. I think it was maybe Jahua, Josh Farron. Somebody. It was a while ago on more old school YouTube cubing, several years ago. But yeah, something about like there was this thing just in cubing in general when somebody was reviewing a puzzle where they would just say, "This is a good beginner cube." But, like, what does that mean, you know? Why wouldn't a beginner just get the best puzzle available? The answer to that question is money, right? You wouldn't want to invest a lot in your hobby, like an what's the word I'm looking for? Exorbitant amount in your hobby if you're not, like, super serious about it or it's not a big deal, you know? But back then, the most expensive puzzles, like, were in the low 20s. So it wasn't a huge deal. Like, and his point that he was making, and excuse me again if I'm misquoting somebody on this, it might not have been Josh Farron, but I seem to recall it was. His point was that, like, Why would you say this is a good beginner cube when somebody's just going to go out there, buy this, and then have to spend more money later to get a better cube? Like, just start out with the best puzzle, you know? There's no difference between them, really, in performance. It's not like, as a beginner, you have to turn slower, so, like, you're going to mess up a lot on a fast cube. Like, it doesn't work like that, cubing, you know? So, I think in today's day and age, it's a bit different just because GAN puzzles are $60. I would agree with the assertion that beginners should not get GAN puzzles. It's not because they're not beginner cubes. Beginner cube isn't really a thing. It's because if you're not as invested in the hobby yet, and you're just starting out... sorry, I need to focus on that ALK. I'm bad at my Z-prims. If you're just starting out, then you shouldn't invest that much money into it. And so something like a GEMS is more suited for somebody who doesn't know if they're going to do it long term. You know? I think that's the argument.
8 seconds.
But let me know what you think about that. And of course I could be wrong in the first place about people saying, oh, there we have PLL skip 11. I could be wrong about people saying in the beginning, from the first place, that I'm getting a GAN to get faster, because I haven't experienced that, but maybe other people have. Yeah, and people who are our age, Alec and Phil, and we don't necessarily have $60 lying around to just go out and buy a GAN puzzle. Like, I'm in the fortunate position where I get to test cubes, so I haven't spent money on a puzzle in years, like literally 4 years. But yeah, I'm like, it's not a smart financial purchase to go out and get a GAN puzzle when you have bills to pay or college expenses, you know. You would say the Worm is better than the XS and it's half the price. Yeah, I mean, like, hardware isn't... The other thing too is that, like, you're not going to get, like, significantly, like, double the performance out of a GAN puzzle. Like, the price doesn't really reflect that, you know. If GAN came out with this revolutionary design that for some reason other companies couldn't replicate, and they justified the $60 price tag with that technology, then sure. But, like, right now, I don't know if it's really necessary, you know? The buying a GAN cube to get faster comes from seeing the best of the best with that cube. Yeah, I could totally see that. I mean, and it's the same effect in other hobbies, but I would argue it's less about buying a GAN to get faster, and it's more about buying a GAN because Felix has a GAN and Felix is cool and fast. You know what I'm saying? Like, that would be my argument. Of course, I don't know, but just from, like, getting a feel from it, from being around that audience for now 8 years, like, it just feels that way to me, especially with GAN. Because GAN, like, really promotes with the fast cubers. They sponsor all of them. When I graduate college, I'm a straight up break down and cry. Like, I already know because I put in so much work. I went to a specialized high school that, like, kicked my ass, and in college I'm putting in so much work to this, and just being able to have a career where I'll be set for, like, my life financially, hopefully, cross your fingers. It's just going to be such a relief. Such a relief. So I'm really looking forward to that. And then the subsequent semester, last semester, we had to take a class called MATSE 413, which is solid state materials. Everything you would ever want to know about solids on the microscopic and macroscopic scale. And a large part of that was quantum mechanics, like in-depth quantum mechanics. And it was the second hardest class I've ever taken. So hard. If you want to call that chemistry, it's like, it's pretty much chemistry, but it's also physics. But that was a hard class. Oh my goodness. I ended up doing pretty well in it though. But that the first quiz I took, I was not prepared for. I walked in and I bombed that quiz harder than I've ever bombed any quiz I've ever done. I got a 32. I had no idea what was going on. But luckily I worked a little harder after that, and I got better. I say that's the second hardest class because the first hardest class I've ever taken was also that semester. It was a tough semester, my last semester. Also because it turned out to be remote after a while. But after spring break. But this was the beginning of this year, if you couldn't tell. My fourth semester. It was differential equations, Calc 4. Now, I consider myself a relatively smart person. Like, I can grasp some concepts. Like, if I spend enough time on a concept, I can grasp it. But there's some things in differential equations that are just so hard that they're just like, it's so hard to grasp. I had to put in like an exorbitant amount of time into understanding these things, and I still don't understand them. Laplace transforms. Laplace transforms, guys. If you don't know what they are, bless your soul. If you do know what they are, I'm so sorry, because Laplace transforms are terrible. Oh. If you get Laplace transforms, hats off to you. I still don't understand the concept behind them. And my professor, like, trying to explain it, he's not like the best English speaker. He's not a native English speaker. So he was like knocking on the table in the front of the classroom, and he's going, there's a vibration to this when you knock it, and Laplace transforms like turn that into a mathematical thing. And I'm just sitting there in class like, what does that mean? Like, that doesn't mean anything. I don't understand what a Laplace transform is. You're gonna be a TA for astronomy next semester. That sounds awesome. Good for you, dude. Yeah, I love being a TA. I really do. It's I would do it for free. I wouldn't, like, if they didn't pay me, I would do it for free still. I love it that much. And it's an intimidating job because, like, people perceive that, like, you know more than you do. You know, they walk in there and they expect you to be a teacher. And it's like, dude, I'm in college too. I'm a student like you are. Like, I'm supposed to come in here and be an expert or whatever. Like, they have these high, lofty expectations of you being, like the super smart person. And I'm a dumbass. So it's like, it's an intimidating job to have, but, like, I love it. It's like such a good challenge. Yeah, TAing is great for it because, you know, that just shows that you have good communication skills. I'm very fortunate to have the resume I do. I think I have a very strong resume, and it's mostly by accident. Like, I don't do things to say, like, oh, I'm going to add this to my resume. Things just sort of happen, and I have a Wendy's job on there, which I think a lot of jobs look for somebody to have, like, a minimum wage job, because that's important for, like, knowing how to work in a team and stuff like that. And I think that's good on a resume. I have 2 TAing positions, and I got an internship this summer with GE Aviation, which is nice. It's going to be a nice resume piece. It's a technical internship. So, yeah. And I'm not going to pretend like it's all luck. Like, I think it's definitely a large part of that is luck. But I worked my ass off to get that internship. I was at the career fair at Penn State. Nobody wants to speak to a freshman engineering major, like pre-engineering major. Nobody cares. But I went to the career fair twice a year anyway, and just like practiced talking to those people and tried to build a rapport and like showed off my cube, which is like kind of cringy, but at the same time it was memorable. Like, I went to Exxon and the guy saw on my resume cubing, and he asked me, and I had a cube and I was showing him cubing. I went back a year later, totally different person, not the same guy I spoke to at Exxon, different guy I spoke to. And he said, oh wait, are you the cubing guy? And I said, yeah. The word had spread that like some jackass had brought a Rubik's Cube to the Exxon Mobil station. And so they know who I was. And like, this is my thing. When you're trying to get a position or a job, it's important to be memorable more than it is to be like, have a stellar resume. Because all your competition, all the people around you also have great resumes. But you got to stick in that person's mind. And that's how I got the GE position too. I might have told this story before, but I switched in line with the person behind me because there were 2 people interviewing for positions, or 2 people that were talking. And I overheard that one of the guys was named Adam. And so I was like, oh, I need to speak to the dude named Adam. So I spoke to the guy behind me and I was like, yo, can you switch with me? And I switched with him just so that I could go and get the guy named Adam and be like, hey, my name's Adam too. Which is so dumb, but I'm convinced that that was part of the reason why he remembered me and my resume. So, like, that's my advice for people in college or looking for internships or in general. Your cube landed me my current job. You did a blind solve in front of me, hired me on the spot. That's awesome, dude. I love those stories so much because it's true. Like, this stuff happens. And, like, the GE guy, I also did a cube demonstration for him because he saw that on my resume. Not everybody that I talk with sees it on my resume because, you know, they skim the resumes. They don't really look at them. But, yeah, I'm convinced that and me, like, pointing out, hey, my name's Adam too, made me memorable enough so that he hired me for the internship. And yeah, I think, and also cubing got me into college. I wrote my Common App essay on cubing, and my acceptance rate to colleges were 100%. And to be fair, to put that in perspective, I did not reach to any Ivies. I think the lowest percentage was like a 30% acceptance rate that I applied to, colleges I applied to. But I did have a 100% acceptance rate, and I'm convinced it's because I wrote a very solid essay about cubing. Not a cliche one that, like, look at me, I'm smart, I could solve a Rubik's Cube, but like I took it and I talked about the hobby and what the hobby has done for me socially. And yeah, that's what cubing does. Like, an interesting hobby, that's what sets you apart, that's what gets you the job, you know? So don't be afraid to use that. I want to make a video on that because I think it's underrated. All cubers aren't social. Big disagree. That is a stereotype. Totally a stereotype. I think maybe you could argue that introverts are more likely to be cubers because cubing is inherently introverted. But at the same time, cubing is social because of competitions. Just the act of speed solving and practicing at home may be more something introverted. But to generalize a whole community and say that they're not social, I just think is wrong. And I've seen, in the 8 years I've been cubing, I've seen plenty of proof to prove otherwise. Like, there are plenty of people who are not like that. Not introverted, very social cubers. If I call myself an introvert, I don't know what that makes me. I don't know, man. Like, you would have to really... I'm going to make this argument, not like in a negative connotation, but like, you don't really know me that well, you know? Not in a mean way, but like in a literal sense. Like, you know me as like my online persona. I mean, if you've seen me in a competition, maybe you have a better idea, but like, people who are like friends with me IRL and like more around me, like, recognize that after social events, I get tired and like I recharge my batteries by being alone. That's what it means to be introverted. Introversion has a negative connotation. It's not true. Introverts can be very social. I think I'm very social. I enjoy social events. It's just they tire me out, and so I enjoy being alone and recharging my batteries. You know, that's all that means. Let's get to 16.2, average of 100, and then we'll end stream. And hopefully I don't fail and not get there, because that would be awful. But, you know, these things happen, maybe, so. Especially if you do cross wrong, like I'm currently doing. Okay. I am speed. Hey! Cubicle, thanks for the raid. 57 people. Welcome, welcome everybody. Just on a perfect solve, 13. Can we get some motivation in the chat, please? One last time. I need some motivation. Here we go. For one last time on the stream. Let's get some motivation.
Hey there, friend.
Hey, friend.
We all believe in you.
We have the motivation coursing through the veins. We have the good cross. We have the technology for a good solve. All we gotta do, we have the free pair. All we gotta do is execute. We have the good OLL 11. Let's go. 1644. Let's have some sauce in the chat for that, please. That was some sauce. And that's a beautiful way to end the stream. What a solve. Thank you so much for stopping by to the stream today. See you guys soon.